Well, welcome to another Memphis Monday 132. Today we're going to be fixing an oak kitchen chair. My buddy knows I like to fix stuff, and he said, well, you can fix that chair right there. And I said, roger that. So that's what we're going to be doing today. So let's knock off the chit chat and get to work. Here's a little visual inspection on the chair. It got left out in the weather after it broke, and so the finish is a little rough, so we'll have to work on that. The weather also loosened the joints, see that. We're going to have to fabricate a missing part, which is a little curved brace right here. Let me show you this clip I took at my buddy's house. From the clip you can see that this is a little curved dowel that goes right in here. Here's a little sketch of what we saw in the clip. The round 3/4 inch dowel is curved here. The back seat back leans back 12 degrees. First thing I got to do is get that angle. Okay, then I can sketch in. Here's the screw holes, screw hole there, and then going by the video clip of what this thing looks like, I can estimate where those screws are going to go back in again. I was looking for some hints on how to manufacture those braces, and first thing you notice is this is the top seat back, and you can see that this is laminated oak. Braces are made in the same way the back is. Let's take a look at that again. So it appears that all the bent wood in this thing is made from these 3/16 inch wooden strips that are laminated together. So we need to make our mold and laminate our braces. What this black stuff is carbon paper. And I don't know if this will work, but we're going to try to transfer this arc. I'm putting together our cold forming jig. And what I've done is I put a piece of remnant underneath it here. See how I get my hand under there? So the clamp fit on there like that. I put glue on it, on the individual pieces. I'll squish it around a little bit. Now my theory is that these are going to bend around easier because the glue will act as a lubricant. How's that for a theory? I'm not double-siding the glue. I'm not even spreading it out. Because you have to work these things so much that it gets spread out just by natural movement. You kind of see what I mean here when I stack these things up. See, they're going to move around, and that spreads out the glue. And they're also going to slide past one another as I'm bending them, and that spreads it out too. Well, I got those all set up over there. Let's go ahead and take one of these apart. See if we can make it sing. Here's our little template on the fit. Like that. I guess that's it. I guess we can cut it off right there and there and begin to shape it. Here's our little brace. Just got to round it up and fit it in place. This side's going to be concave right here, and then this side right over here is going to be flattened, so it sits flat against the chair, and the whole thing will be rounded. But you can see now that it's almost rounded. If you look at the end there, see, by taking those corners off, it at least made it an oval. But now I'll take the rest of these off with a sander. I think the best way to round this thing up is using a random orbit sander, because it's got flexible edges, so it'll go around curves better. Okay, here you can see our brace is going to fit in here nicely. But now what we need to do, since we got it rounded over, is we need to flatten this edge right here. Okay, here's a subtlety here. You can see how this seat back is splayed this way. It's splayed over this way just a few degrees. But that means I'm going to have to install this angle. This angle here is going to have to be flat on the bottom, but it's going to have to be angled so that my brace lines up with that seat back. Okay, we got that flat angle squared away. Now we've got to position this part against this round surface. So that means that inside here, this is going to have to be dished out. It's got to have a concave sanding job right there. Now what I'll do is I'll hold it up there right like that, and I'll go back and forth to the chair until I walk it in. Okay, we got a good tight fit on the top and the bottom. I still have to trim the top of this one here. I don't know if that clamps in the way. But you can see some light through there. Well, that's actually going to be cut off right there. I made that a little long. And here's our alignment. You can see that subtle angle. It angles out a little bit. That's an important detail to get right there. I got those braces done, and want to check out the legs. And the reason that leg was loose is the piece came off of it. This apparently what happened is after the braces broke, somebody sat in the chair and snapped off the tenon. I'm not going to mix any thickener with this epoxy, because I want it to be as thin as possible. The plan starts with me cutting this this bad tenon off. Okay, this plan calls for, I made this little fake dowel, or this little fake tenon. It's got a hole in it for the dowel to go through. I'm going to attach our new tenon just like that, and then I'll reinforce it with this dowel. The dowel will go into the leg. Okay, the epoxy is thickening up quick. Hope I can get it in here in time. Well, there's a view of our fake tenon. We're going to give this a try. Just doesn't work. Another way to do it is to put a steel rod down through there to reinforce this. I don't think it needs it, but that's another way to reinforce tenons. Here in this view of the other leg, you can see the wedge going right through there. I'll be cutting that out. I went ahead and cut that wedge out of there. You can see, unlike some of the other chairs we've done, these wedges here are very shallow and thin. I don't think it's fully cured, but I'm going to go ahead and cut the wedge slot. Well, there's our repaired tenon. Let's hopefully that's the last time we'll see it. Let's see if we can install it in the chair. Here I can't drive those in with a hammer. I got to use a long rod. These braces are held on by a screw up here at the top and a screw down here at the bottom. Well, there's our little braces. They're kind of splayed out so that they line up with the chair back. See how they kind of lean? They lean to the outside. It's one of those things that nobody will notice that you did it. But it would probably be noticeable if you didn't do it. All right, let's fill those screw holes. I don't even know what this stuff is called. It's just epoxy mixed with sawdust. Well, here it is. It's not focusing, is it? It's got a consistency of like peanut butter. Real good for filling in the screw holes. I didn't want to countersink these screws too much because I didn't want to weaken the braces. So when you're in that situation, you can, instead of using dowels to fill your holes, you can use this stuff. Well, about ready to wrap it up here. Put a little coat of polyurethane on it because this thing was left outside, and polyurethane, the sun eats it up. So if it's outside even for very much time at all, the sun will just turn the polyurethane into chalk. Well, here's the finished chair that we repaired in Memphis Monday 132. We built these nice little braces, filled them with the sawdust and epoxy filler. We had to put some stain on that seat because it had some standing water on it apparently. We put in a fake tenon. That tenon doesn't receive any torque, so I think our fix is going to be good. If it was going to receive any torque, I would have used a steel bar. And we gave it a coat of polyurethane because the finish had deteriorated. Alrighty, that'll do it for another Memphis Monday 132, fixing this nice little dining room chair. We cold molded some braces that were missing on the back. We had to repair a tenon, and we replaced the wedges holding up the seat back, and everything went according to plan, so no complaints there. Well, comment and tweet and Facebook and share and favorite and all that stuff you do on the internet. And most important, what? That's right. Make sure you're back here next week for Memphis Monday 133, in which we'll have another exciting project. Thanks for playing along.